Alright, so we're going to do a pod review on the pepper right over there, and that is called the Sulu Adana Pepper. And that's like a 2-year-old plant. I've been growing that for a couple years, and the pods are generally not that big, but this year we got some good sized pods off it, so let's go and pick some of those and give it a taste test. So let's grab a couple. Now, these were getting attacked by slugs like you wouldn't believe this year. Break the whole top of the plant off on that one. And that one just came right off. So, let's show you what we got. The Sulu Adana. Now, yes, these will turn fully red eventually. But these peppers have been sitting on here for almost 2 months now. And they need to come off because these plants are getting ready to come in for the winter. And they need to come off. So that's what they look like. Alright, get you in the light. It's a little less windy, a little less noisy, in a nice greenhouse. A little bit dampening of that sunlight, even though there's no sun. And so that's what we got. Quite a beauty. It's a looker. I don't remember if these got heat on them or not, so I just don't remember. Probably does. I'm pretty sure this is a Syrian pepper. I got to look it up. I got to look it up. Sulu Adana. Alright, so let's turn you around and give it a go. Alright guys, we're doing another pod review today, and it's going to be on this pepper right here, and this is called the Sulu Adana. Don't know much about it. I think it's a Syrian pepper. Could be Turkey, but I'm pretty sure it just comes from the Middle East somewhere. Not exactly sure what country it originates from, but that's it. That's one of them anyway. And it's quite a good looking pepper. Now these will turn red eventually, but the plants are getting ready to be dug up and harvested and brought in and all that kind of stuff. So I need to get the peppers off the plant. So here we are. We're doing a review. And without any further ado, let's give it a go. Wow, that's thick. Guys, that was thick-walled. I was like biting into a steak. That was really thick-walled pepper there. So far it's sweet. There's no heat on it yet, but let's see if there is any heat. We'll just move up the pepper and see if we can pick up some heat. But so far it's sweet. And it's quite nice. It's got a little bit of a tanginess to it. Has a sweet appley type flavor, but not a real lot because this pepper is not fully ripened yet, so we can't really say how sweet it could get. I would imagine once it's fully red, you're really going to get a nice sweet flavor off of this. But so far, no heat. Let's take another bite. Man, it's like biting into an apple. It's very, very thick. Very heavy pepper. Very thick-walled. There's a lot to chew on this thing when I'm biting into this thing, man. This thing's... one pepper can really add a lot of material to your food. So it's not a thin-walled pepper, which, you know, thinner wall peppers, like bell pepper-wise, that's like medium wall. It's not exactly thick wall, and it's not really thin wall. It's kind of in the middle. This is like maybe twice the thickness wall of a regular bell pepper. I mean, this thing is thick. It reminds me a lot of the Sulu Adana Pepper. Reminds me a lot of that one. The thick, extremely thick walls on that pepper is ridiculous. I got to do a review on it again next year. We'll see if we can get them sprouted in the winter, and then do a review on the Sulu Adana. But this pepper is quite good, to be honest with you. This is a very nice pepper. This plant that it came off of is like maybe 2 or maybe even 3 years old. I think I got 1 pepper off it the year before, so wasn't really enough for me to even offer seeds. But this year we planted it outdoors, and it did quite well. But it'll probably do really good if you plant it completely by itself. It doesn't really like to be planted next to other plants, I'm assuming. Though, I will say that there's really nothing crowding it out, and it just still didn't want to get too much bigger. So it's really a short and compact plant, to be honest with you. Growing it in containers, growing it outdoors, and still the same thing. So it's a compact plant. It's not a big, large growing plant. You're going to want to Make sure this thing grows by itself in full sun, and you'll probably get pretty decent amount of peppers off it. But I think a best case scenario for me, even outdoors, I would probably say not much more than between 8 and 12 peppers is like a best case scenario for this plant. It's not a heavy producer, but I'll tell you, each pepper that comes off it, man, these things are thick-walled, heavy, and you're going to be able to use it for a couple of dishes. You may want to cut it in half and then cook for 2 different days separately, because there's a lot to consume here. Even for me to eat this, to do a review, that's a lot. That's like a whole meal by itself, to be honest with you. I'll take one more bite. I'm going to take it up, bring it all the way up and see if there's any heat. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of seeds in there. There's some, but not a real lot. No, it's a sweet pepper. There's no heat on it at all. It's very nice. Again, has a nice appley flavor. Very thick, chewy, and crunchy. The walls are they're malleable. They're not really hard and crispy. They're kind of malleable, so it chews up nice. It's very similar to biting into an apple that is very well ripened. It's very similar to that type of an effect. It's a very nice pepper. I definitely like this. I'm going to bring this one in for the winter. We'll grow it out next year. We'll see if we can get better production off it, and we'll see how it does. We'll see if we can get more than a dozen peppers off it. But anyway, that was your pod review for the Sulu Adana. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.